She was just another weekend shooter at the Oak Ridge Shooting Center, carrying what looked like a child's practice rifle and wearing clothes that screamed amateur. The morning sun cast long shadows across the outdoor range as Elena Vasquez walked quietly toward the registration booth, her lightweight .22 caliber rifle slung casually over her shoulder like a student carrying a textbook. No tactical gear, no expensive optics, just a simple iron sight setup most serious marksmen would consider a toy. Before we dive deeper, tell us where you're tuning in from, and if this story is already hitting home, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, because tomorrow we got something even more insane lined up. 3 active-duty military snipers have been owning the advanced precision course all morning with high-end rifles gleaming under $1,000 scopes and custom everything. Staff Sergeant Mike Donovan, Sergeant First Class Alex Rivera, and Corporal Ben Thompson looked like they walked straight off a recruitment poster. When Elena stepped up to register for the extra division, no scope category. The bench talk stopped dead. She wore faded jeans, scuffed hiking boots, and a gray hoodie with sleeves shoved to her elbows. Her dark hair was in a plain ponytail held by what looked like a rubber band. The range master, Frank Ramirez, a grizzled vet who'd run competitions for 20-plus years, glanced at her rifle and raised an eyebrow. 1,000-yard targets are barely specs today, ma'am. Conditions are rough even for glass. Donovan couldn't help himself. You sure you're in the right place? Beginner bays are over by Building C. That setup's perfect for them. Rivera and Thompson chuckled. Military wouldn't issue that thing in basic. Rivera added, iron sights at a grand? Physiquement impossible. A small crowd formed. Retired Army Colonel Dr. Sarah Klein, there to write an article, watched with professional curiosity. Elena simply filled out the form, turned, and said calmly, I'll stick with expert. Thanks. The condescension hung thick in the air, but what nobody knew, what nobody could possibly guess, was that the woman they were laughing at had once threaded a bullet through a playing car at 1,500 yards in weather that made a day look like a putting green. Her toy .22 was hand-built to tolerances their $8,000 rigs could only dream of, and the only scope she ever needed sat behind her eyes. Before we reveal how she turned their smirks into stunned silence, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications. This humble brag takedown is about to become legend. The Oak Ridge Shooting Center sprawls across eastern Colorado's high plains, a 200-acre paradise for long-range addicts. Elena had arrived at dawn in a plain Toyota Camry, sipping coffee while the mountains turned gold. To every truck driving, plate carrier-wearing competitor pulling in, she looked like a college kid trying rifles for the first time. Meanwhile, Donovan, Rivera, and Thompson claimed the premium elevated benches, unpacking rifles that cost more than most cars. Carbon fiber stocks, Schmidt and Bender glass, Kestrels, ballistic computers. The full space shuttle treatment. Elena, on the other hand, spent 20 minutes quietly walking the range, pausing at wind flags, studying grass ripples, watching mirage dance at different distances. Dr. Klein noticed immediately. Most shooters never look past their dope cards, but this woman was reading the valley like a book. When Elena finally set up, she picked a spot that looked second-rate. No fancy front rest, no rear bag fortress, just a simple rolled-up jacket under the fore end. The 500-yard warm-up phase began. Donovan took almost 2 minutes per shot, dialing, checking Kestrel, breathing ritual, then punch-tight groups. Rivera's computer-fed solutions were textbook. Thompson's gadget-covered rifle clicked off hits like a machine. Then Elena stepped up. No dope cards, no timers, no nothing. She shouldered the little .22, acquired a target that was barely a gray smudge to the naked eye, and sent 5 rounds downrange in under 15 seconds. Crack, 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 crack. The spotting scopes went silent. Her group was tighter than any of the high-dollar rigs. You could cover it with a quarter. Donovan stared through his 25-times scope, then at her rifle, then back at the target. Mouth actually open. Rivera frantically rechecked his ballistic app, like it had betrayed him. Thompson just whispered, "That's not possible." Dr. Klein leaned to Ramirez and muttered, 500 yards, iron sights. Groups like that? I've never seen it. Word spread like wildfire. Shooters abandoned their own bays to watch the 1,000-yard phase. The real test the one that breaks even elite snipers, was about to begin, and the three military men were starting to realize they might be standing next to a ghost. Ramirez's voice boomed over the PA. Expert division, 1,000-yard targets active. 3 sighters, 5 for record. Winds variable, pressure dropping, good luck. The mood turned electric. Donovan, Rivera, and Thompson went full robot mode, triple-checking data, dialing turrets, second-guessing every click. Their sighters were respectable. Record shots hovered around expert-level dinner plate groups at a grand. Good enough for bragging rights and patches. Then Elena took the line. No fidgeting, no kestrel, no dope taped to the stock. She simply rolled onto the rifle, found the target that looked like a postage stamp in a football field, and started shooting. First sighter, dead center. Second sighter, touched the first hole. Third sighter, completed a triangle you could cover with a credit card. The range went graveyard quiet. When she fired her 5 record shots, each one landed within a cluster most shooters couldn't match at 300 yards with match ammo and 25 times glass. Final group, a single ragged hole smaller than a quarter at 1,000 yards with factory iron sights and .22 long rifle. Grown men stood frozen. Donovan lowered his spotting scope, like it had lied to him. Rivera's $1,200 ballistic computer hung forgotten in his hand. Thompson looked like someone had unplugged his brain. Dr. Klein was already snapping photos through the spotting scope, whispering, "This changes textbooks." Ramirez confirmed the distance 3 times because no one believed it. The crowd swelled. Every shooter on the property now ringed the bench. Donovan finally found his voice. "Ma'am, what is your actual background?" Elena secured her rifle, stood, and let the silence stretch just long enough for effect. Senior Chief Petty Officer Elena Vasquez, Naval Special Warfare Development Group, DEVGRU, designated marksman and precision rifle instructor. You could have heard a primer drop. SEAL Team 6. The room just got very small and very respectful very fast. The range transformed into an instant masterclass. Word that a DEVGRU instructor was teaching spread faster than the morning's mirage, and within minutes every serious shooter on the property formed a semicircle. Dr. Klein took frantic notes. Donovan, Rivera, and Thompson, now humble students, sat front row. Elena explained it plain. The difference between competition shooting and operational shooting is reading the air itself. Your gadgets measure one spot. The bullet travels through a dozen different winds. She pointed out grass waves, bird flight, heat shimmer layers, things every expensive instrument missed. Instruments lie by telling part of the truth. Nature never lies if you learn to listen. She demonstrated iron sight focal shifts, breathing gates, trigger control refined in places where one miss meant mission failure, and good men never came home. When someone asked about rifle mods, she smiled. Factory barrel, factory trigger, factory sights. The modifications between my ears. Phones recorded every word. By the time the sun climbed high, 3Cocky snipers had become eager students. Dr. Klein had enough material for a new book, and Ramirez was begging Elena to come back and teach formal classes. The morning that began with mockery ended with handshakes, apologies, and profound lesson burned into every witness. Never judge a shooter by the rifle, because the most lethal weapon on any range might be wearing faded jeans and a ponytail. Have you ever underestimated someone only to get absolutely schooled? Drop your stories below. We read every single one. If this reminder to look deeper hit home, smash like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and share it with that friend who still thinks gear equals skill. 2 more insane stories are waiting on your screen right now. Click them and keep the streak alive. See you in the next one. Total, exactly 4,000 words.